Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato with you here. You can see it, a beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. We've got a fast main track, the Tapeta, and we're not on the turf yet, but as we showed you the other day, we're getting mighty close. As that turf course comes around, we're looking early December to get back on the turf. We showed you the walking ring yesterday as well, so big doings here at Gulfstream Park as we draw in on December and the championship meet, of course, too. But good Sunday card as well, 11 races, a stakes race, and of course the Rainbow Six already up to $100,000. It was hit last Sunday, and we double back around here. $100,000, six figures already here, and take a shot at it. Ron Nicoletti and I talk about it all the time. These are great days to get involved before we get back up there, you know, $400,000, $500,000, $750,000. These are days to get involved where if you have a really, really good six-pack of picks, you have a chance to sweep this thing for a really a lifetime score. So that'll be a little later. I got Rainbow Six duty as well today. We'll take a look at that in a bit. But race one kicks off the early pick 5. We'll take a look at that ticket as well. $20 play for me, 4 through 8 in the opener, and then 2 deep in race number 2 with the top pick Uranium in race number 3. That top pick is number 7. Awesome pick in race 4, the single in there, Man on the Moon. We got a replay coming up of that as well. In 2 deep to get out, obviously Rothgar is going to be tough in race 5, but my long shot is number 8, Starship Wizard. That's my long shot play of the day. Didn't appear, at least to me, on the surface that it is a crazy kind of long shot day here, and that was 5-1 on the morning line. We'll see what we get. I think that's doable, and that's where we go. But let's get into the opener now. These are a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. 2-year-old fillies going to maiden claimers. The tag, $35,000. We'll start with number 4, Irony, and I've got a couple replays to show you here as well. So we'll bring it up. This is Irony, who's the 5 here. Going to be really wide entering the far turn. And I think, you know, you can see Edgar Zaya is kind of urging this one a little bit. She actually drops out of your picture. And this Arundel Homebred by Brethren takes a little bit of encouragement to get in, but she's going to be very wide. And I thought this was a strong run. I don't know if this was one of those light bulb moments or what. Still not in the picture. Here she comes with the white blinkers and those, obviously we know those Arundel colors quite well. And she's going to be extremely wide and trying to loop here on the far turn. And it really kicks into me in deep stretch. She bops out of the picture again, but she's going to make a late dent here. And obviously it's a non-threatening dent, but I just kind of wonder if maybe she figured out this game a little bit in deep stretch. Here she comes now, flying late. Thought it was an encouraging effort, all things considered. Typically, horses are going to make the most improvement in a lifetime start, number 2. Let's see what we get today from Irony. That's what I'm hoping for. Number 6, Mama Strong from Mark Cassie. A second-time starter, sprinted on the Tapeta on debut. A daughter of Awesome Slew out of a Bertrando mare. So I think we're allowed to think 2 turns is in this pedigree. Let's take a look at this replay, too. This is the old there off you lose angle here because she's the 7 here. Right off the rip. I mean, especially going 5.5 furlongs. She's going to check out of it. Going to break slow. Going to lose, what, 6, 8, 10 lengths to the rest of the field here. Completely out of the picture. But here's another one. Coming into your picture here, entering the far turn. And she had a little traffic in mid-stretch as well. Now she's behind this whole wall of horses. Good job, Bob. Thank you. The 7 horse here, again, behind an entire wall of horses. She's going to thread through a little bit. She's going to have a little trouble again where she checks a little bit, loses some momentum. Another one of these kind of sneaky good efforts, better than it looks. Here she is kind of idling a little bit as things close up on her a bit. I thought this was a pretty decent run. And don't forget, too, you get the experience edge out of these kind of efforts, and it really propels you, helps you moving forward. Major Price, the 8, favored on the morning line, and I get it. It's a huge class drop. A maiden special weight now in for 35. They were state-bred races. Take note of that, but it seems like Antonio Sano is now, after 5 starts of trying her, not in for a tag. He's going to dip this daughter of Buchero in for a tag, and that could signal a big wake-up. Number 7, Mediation, as well, was okay on debut for 35 for Kent Sweezy. Kent is not a guy that's going to crank him up. It's hard to win at 2 turns on debut, too. Don't sleep on her now, Miguel Vasquez. getting here as well. Early pick 4-time in race number 2, and we're 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Sprinting a snappy here, 5.5. 3-year-olds are 4 and up, which have never won 3. The tag is 16-20 down to 16. We'll start with number 6, Uranium. Ronnie did pull stats today, and let's bring it up here for trainer Joe Orsino because it's a good stat here. 4 for 16. Winning last out on the Tapeta over the last year, and that's, we're coming up on that year here at Gulfstream Park since we debuted the Tapeta, and Joe's got a good handle of it. The other reason I personally went with Uranium too is that she's only run once on the Tapeta. It was her last start, and I don't think there's any doubt it was by far the best effort this son of Unified has done. It was a sharp effort. We're going to show you some stats later from our friends at Horse Racing Nation. You want to be close sprinting on the Tapeta. I think Uranium's got that. And again, a 1 start on the Tapeta, really, really strong effort. We go outside to the 8. Poseidon's Son, who I think for Liz Dobles won a race yesterday, and Poseidon's Son has got a big chance in here. I think this horse probably is a pretty decisive favorite, at least for me, coming out of much stronger races. We drop now in for 20. You see the starter optional claimer 20, in for 35. 2 back. I know we haven't tried the Tapeta, and that's obviously the question mark. This is a barn that does very, very well on all-weather surfaces, 18%. You look at the figures, you look at the races that Poseidon's Son is coming out of. I think we have a big chance in here. And then Toretto, certainly Toretto is dropping as well on the Tapeta, so he's got that little bit of an edge on Poseidon's Son, but I don't know, he seems to me, I'm wondering which way the form is going. We're 3 off now, the claim from Rohan Crichton. I wonder if he's dipping a little bit. We've got to mention that and take note of that, but I do think within a group like this on the drop, he's a player. So race number 3 now. We're sprinting 5.5 on a fast main track here. 3-year-old fillies, starter optional claimer, the tag 25 here. And I'm going to go with Awesome Pick. And I know Awesome Pick lost to Astonishing Annabelle 2 back, and then Astonishing Annabelle came back last time to break her maiden at 1-5. I'll get to her in a second. Wasn't impressed with her at all. I think Awesome Pick now. We're drawn outside. We have an advantageous outside attack post here. She's shown she can be close to Astonishing Annabelle, and I just think she's going to be a better price too. I think both of these horses will separate themselves. To me, I have one at 8-5, one at 9-5 kind of a thing, because at least on the what have you done for me lately, their last 2 or 3 races are just, well, the last race are Awesome Pick. The last 2 races for Astonishing Annabelle, just way better than anything anyone's done in here. But I'll go with Awesome Pick. Should be a little bit better price. And, you wonder, maybe she regresses. Maybe she bounces off that big figure 3rd last time. I kind of believe in it, though. That was her first start facing winners. Now we've got that behind, and we've got an advantageous outside post here, spying Awesome Annabelle, seeing what she's doing. You can't take away anything from Awesome Annabelle. I understand, she's going to be a heavy favorite as well. I'll mention Carlos Rojas is riding here today for Jorge Delgado. Small sample, 3 for 5, riding for the barn. So he's done some good work. For a rider that's 17% on the year. So take note of that, too. This isn't an apprentice or anything like that. This is a 17% rider that's done good things for Jorge Delgado, and I think that's worth mentioning because he's on a few horses today as well. I just, Awesome Annabelle was 1-5 last time, and she was all out to get it done. To her credit, she did get it done. She had a 2-length late lead, and she was all out. So tread a little lightly here. With that being said, she's going to be a sizable favorite. The gap from there is a big one. Val's Gal was well behind Astonishing Annabelle, an Awesome Pick in her last start, and she goes off to claim for Aubrey Mirage. Now, that is a good angle. Don't get me wrong, 20%. She was with Ralph Nix, and we know how good of a job Ralph does, too. So a little easier said than done to improve off that barn. I think the cut from the top 2 down to Val's Gal is a big one. Race number 4 here is 7 furlongs, on the main track. 3-year-olds are 4 and up, which have never won 3 races. The tag is 12-5. We've got to lead it off with Man on the Moon, 7-5, and a heavy favorite on the morning line. Let's take a look at his replay last time, because boy, did he run a big race. Here he is down inside. I want to give you the finishing order on this race. 4-1, 2-5. So you can see Hercules at 3-5 gets all the best of it because Examiner, who's going to drop way out of it, was pressing Man on the Moon here the entire way. And right here, you're kind of thinking, all right, well, we've gotten pressed into the ground. Everybody's coming, including the 3-5, and we're going to back out of it. You're going to see Man on the Moon dig in. He's only going to lose by a length. He took all the worst of it in this spot. I thought he ran huge. Obviously, the favorite, the heavy favorite who tripped out, garden trip stalking in here has got his measure. But for Man on the Moon to keep, tabs on the favorite late, only get beaten a length. You can see he's a month clear of the rest of them in here. I thought it was a huge, huge effort. 7-5 on the morning line. I believe in it wholeheartedly because he should be a very decisive favorite today in this spot, and he's my single in the early pick 5. I'll figure it out is a little bit interesting. I think his form is a little dirtied up on the Tapeta races of late, especially last time where he didn't run at all at 4-1 for Herbie Miller. Look at the dirt races. Those are 4 and 5 back. If he can get to them, and they were in for 35, facing much, much better. If he can get back to them, you could make a case he's the horse to beat. I don't think that because, those are far removed, but those are also his last 2 races on the main track. So we'll see what we get. If he can run back to him, he's a huge threat to Man on the Moon because those are fast races. Those are against better. And he has, again, those stick out in here. The question is, what did the Tapeta runs, what did the last run do to him? Because he didn't fire at all last time in a race where, again, he was 4-1. Creative Cloud is interesting, too. We're going to go to Jorge Delgado for the first time. That's a big angle. 30%. Safi had this horse in his last several starts, though, and obviously Safi is as good as we have down here. So what are we going to get today? I am willing to draw a line through the 2-turn Tapeta race last time. That's not what Creative Cloud wants to do. The sprint races 2 and 3 back were solid, but they are not going to get to Man on the Moon. They aren't going to get to I'll Figure It Out either if he's back to his best. So Creative Cloud, we'll see what we get on the barn switch today. I'm thinking more underneath than on top for him. Let's get to one more here before we take a break and look Rainbow 6. It is race number 5. We're routing on the Tapeta. These are 3-year-olds, or 3 and up, which have never won 2. Our tag is 8,000. And I mentioned a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. So let's take a look at a graphic for our friends from Horse Racing Nation. I mentioned the sprints, and we'll show that a little later on. These are the routes, and whereas you need to be close early, sprinting on the Tapeta, the route's a little bit of a different story. Early speed is winning 28% of them, but look at the stalkers, look at the closers. That is up to 72% stalker closer. So anyone between 1 length of the lead and then 4 plus, 72% of the races. And we've seen it time and time again. You just watch these races. The horses, doesn't matter how slow they go early, they have a heck of a time holding on late. And that's food for thought. I think these graphics that we have shown you have really been beneficial to your handicapping. We've seen it especially. It doesn't matter how quick they go in the sprints. They're holding on. Conversely, in the routes, they can go slow early. They struggle late. This is and I'm going to use this term loosely, long shot today. Starship Wizard, 5-1 on the morning line. I think that's about right. I couldn't come up with a true decided long shot today. We'll go to Starship Wizard. We're dropping a little bit in class. And Rothgar down inside is going to be the strong favorite. And that's right. I agree with that. He's 7-5 on the morning line, which I do agree with. Starship Wizard was not that far behind him when they last met. And I think on a little bit of a drop, and Rothgar. The other thing, too, is I'm going to mention now Rothgar, J.P. Cornetta, and, D. Silo is out. Scratch the 4. They come in, the 1 and the 3 come in off really fast races for this level, too. And I wonder if Rothgar and J.P. Cornetta, especially, if they regress a little bit. Starship Wizard off a little bit of a freshening. Maybe he bounces back. That's why I landed on him. Listen, Rothgar, huge threat in here. There's no doubt about it. He ran a big one last time. And if he runs it right back, you know, he's probably going to win. I just wonder, you know, if he's going to be able to get back to it because it was such a strong, fast race. I did use him. I'm not going to not use him if I'm ending this early pick 5 and early pick 4. Just maybe tread a little lightly at what's definitely going to be an underlaid price. Now, J.P. Cornetta is the real wild card. What are you going to get from him? Because he was 26-1 last time, and boy, he blew way up. You've got to give him credit because that was his first start against winners, and for him to be third after dueling throughout, and those are fast splits that day, it was a really, really good effort. To me, I got to play against him here because he's got to come back to the pack a little bit. I don't see him improving off that race. Amador Sanchez, we've been waiting. We've been waiting for this barn to catch fire a little bit. I don't know if it's with J.P. Cornetta today. I'll use him underneath. I actually put Solar Tap in second because I think the race flow might suit Solar Tap. I don't know. He seems to be way off form, but he should pass a few horses. Maybe blinkers going on. Jaramillo says, you know what, I'll get aboard. That's a positive, too. So food for thought there. A long shot play, though, to number 8, Starship Wizard. So we'll take a break here on Gulfstream today. When we come back, I got Rainbow Six duty. 6 to go, $100,000.
It's probably the most beautiful racetrack in the country, to be honest with you.
The background is just beautiful.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the grandstand and the racing.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
The Gulfstream Championship meet has become one of the top events of the year. You could come out on a Wednesday and see a future Preakness winner.
They're off in the Preakness. The Run Happy Santa Anita Derby.
Got the unique 6.5 down the hillside turf course.
A whole lot of great racing here in California.
And we're off.
We have all 3 surfaces here, the only racetrack in the country to have all 3 surfaces. Being close to the ocean, being surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders in history, it's amazing.
It's the prettiest thing you've ever seen. There's no one else has a background like we do.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau with you as we get to race 6, and the pressure is on today as I'm subbing for the legend, Ron Nicoletti, in Rainbow Six duty. We'll see what we can come up with. This was I don't know if this is a tribute to Ron, who'll be back with us next Friday, but my ticket was 43.20 as well. I mean, you can't make this up. 6 furlongs on the main track here and an optional claimer, the tag 40 fillies and mares, 3 and up. And let's take a look at it. We've built the suspense that much. 43.20 for me. I've got the single. My best bet of the day is in the last race, 3 deep here. A key scratch here in race 6. Well, 2 of them, but a key scratch in Sylvia V's Heroes. The 9, La Virgen de Regla, also out. 3 deep in race 7 with Vivar con Alegria. That's a really, really good co-feature, we'll call it today. Optional claimer, expensive one as well. 4 deep in race number 8, and I go to the 2, Timmy M, in race number 9. That is the order. 6-8. I'll go Wind 99. That's Ron's best bet of the day. 3 deep in our feature today. I respect the heck out of Mary Quite Contrary. How can you not? I'll try to post a little bit of an upset with Quinoa Tifa, and then, like I mentioned, the single, number 7, Rare Jewel, off the claim for Gilberto Zerpa in the finale, a $43.20 Rainbow Six. So let's get to it now in race 6. I mentioned a couple scratches, not a lot of scratches on the card today. Couple of them in here. The 7 is the big one, Sylvia V's Heroes. The 9, La Virgen de Regla as well. So I did have the 7 on top. I'm going to scratch in to Adios Baby, who's now going to be a pretty decisive favorite. 2-1 on the morning line. That is long gone with, what do we got there, 39 points out of this morning line. And certainly the race goes through her. She was really, really good last time. On the trainer switch to John Vincent, and I mentioned Ronnie pulled up some stats today. He's got one here for John Vincent. Let's take a look at it here for Adios Baby. Got to John Vincent last time. On dirt here at Gulfstream the past 2 years, this is a very, very high percentage barn in general, 18%. The ROI is not that high because obviously they like to bet John Vincent, and rightfully so at 18%. So, you know, the other thing John Vincent is he's really, it's not a huge sample, he's really prolific with first-time starters, and that's kind of, sort of, what Adios Baby was last time. First time into the barn off a little bit of a layoff. If she runs back to that race, they're not going to beat her. It's as simple as that. It was a race so far above what anybody else has done in this field. Can she run back to it? Does she regress a little bit? We'll see. But the stat kind of says, you know, John Vincent is a high percentage barn in these quarters. They're going to have to catch her, too, because she's got a lot of speed. Number 6, Dreamster's interesting. Okay, it's a firster for Mary Leitner. And I think the fact that Edgard Zayas is going to get aboard here, I think that's very important. A couple other angles I like here, too. You can see the bullets. You know, we don't really know how fast they were or what they would look like, obviously, out-of-town bullets. 2 for 12 dam here. She won on debut, so that's noteworthy as well. The other thing is, now this is the 5th foal out of this dam. This is a half to Crumbum, and we know Crumbum down here. It did take 7 starts for Crumbum to break the maiden. Also got 312 in the bank. So this is a horse that can run a little bit. We're familiar with this horse in South Florida. Dreamster now, I want to see what this horse is. 5-1 on the morning line. That's probably long gone too, obviously, with the scratches. If you like Dreamster like I do, this horse needs to be 5-2, 3-1 in this field. We want to see Dreamster live in taking money, and that's partially because, A, I think she can probably run a little bit. B, I don't know really who else is in here. We've got to mention the 3 Hair Stray as well. A Terry Pompey first, or Terry saddled a horse yesterday. They ran Too Good to Lose that Ronnie liked as a long shot. This one got a little bit to work with here. Leonel Reyes is going to land here. This is a barn that's 17% on debut. My Purple Haze Stables homebred here. The dam was 2 for 5, and she could run. It took 2 starts to break her maiden. She could run. 4th foal. Only one other has made the races. 4 starts, took 4 starts to break the maiden. We'll see what we get today. A Daughter of Gone Astray, another one that I think is very live. Because the other reason, too, is aside from Adios Baby, the other gals we've seen in the afternoon, not too fast, at least so far. That was Rainbow Time, late pick 5 time here in race 5. It's a good one. I alluded to it already. It's an optional claimer, 3 and up, 62.5 is the tag. We go the short finish line at 1 mile and a 16th. Let's take a look at my late pick 5. It kind of doubles, mirrors a little bit. The Rainbow, $36 play, and I'll zip through this a little bit. You see some 5s and 6s in there. Again, best bet is in race number 11 for me to end the card. This is a tricky race getting back to race 7. Let's lead it off with Octane. I didn't pick him on top, and I'm going to kind of lead it off with one of the reasons why I didn't pick him. I want to first and foremost say kudos to Carlos David and the team at Arundel and Carlos's team to getting Octane back. He blitzed through the Sire Stakes last year, and then he went off form when he came back. Let's take a look at the replay. He was good last time in winning. I don't want to knock him too much, but you're going to watch this replay. Didn't he kind of have to win? The distractor in Living Water going at it hot and heavy in here, and Octane just sitting back, licking his chops, garden trick stalking in here. And he was still to me, it's the distractor we really want to talk about. I'm waiting for him to run back because, my goodness, he ran huge in here. You're going to see Living Water back way out of it. The distractor didn't want to let Octane by. Perfect trip for Octane. You got to give him credit for gutting it out. I understand that, but boy, oh boy, did he get a setup, and that's one of the reasons why I'm against him in here today. I picked him second. I just didn't want to pick him on top. Now, conversely, to the benefit of Octane, arguably his best race ever was in the In Reality last year when he won at this trip. And he's going to get helped by the short stretch finish line here. That carries horses, okay? Carries speed horses. Octane, at least on paper, I think if he's not loose, he's inside speed. The question is, what does Brasstown do to his outside? So that's Octane. But we've got 2 horses in here that are very, very exciting newcomers. The 7 is where I landed. Viver con Alegria is an import from Chile that won a Group 2 last time. We don't know how good those races are, obviously. But we've got Amador Sanchez here. We've got Miguel Vasquez. We've got first-time Lasix as well. This is an exciting newcomer. I picked him. The other reason I picked him, that Group 2 last time was at 1 mile. So I think this trip is going to help him, suit him a little more than the real maybe runner going forward, and that's O'Connor. And I'll be interested to see. I thought O'Connor would be favored in here. We'll see what we get. It's Safi, it's Edgar Zayas. We're a Group 1 winner in Chile, but we get Lasix here as well. Those races, you look at them, mile and 3/8, a mile and a quarter, a mile and a quarter. Maybe he needs longer. I don't know if the short stretch finish line is going to help or flatter O'Connor today, but he is an exciting horse to get on the grounds. Safi gets him now. We're going to see what we get from him today. Boy, he's dangerous. I'll be interested to see. I don't want to see, if you're a fan of O'Connor, I don't want to see him up there at 7-1. He should be live. He was favored in most of his starts in Chile. We know how good Safi is. So that is a very, very exciting race to kick off the late pick 5. The late pick 4 kicks off in race number 8. We're back on the Tapeta in this starter optional claimer 20. The tag is 12 here for 3-year-olds and up. We scratched the 1 down inside El Sumaro. So now I go to Timmy M, the 2 who will be down inside. You know, he didn't really run last time, admittedly, and that was for 35. I think it's a positive that the barn is not going to put him in for a tag here. You look at the races 2 and 3 back. They're better than anybody in here. Now, can he get back to it? That's the question mark. I'm going to come back to Timmy M in a race where I think you can spread a little bit. Number 6, Racecraft. Rohan Crichton's got 2. He got on the board yesterday. Racecraft looked good winning last time off the claim. I think this is a little bit of a tougher group. He's probably got to run a little bit faster, but I think he's clearly the one to deny in here. And Rohan's also got the 5 Cadet Corps, who was a good third last time. He was at 90 cents to the dollar, though, so I'm not really quite as forgiving when you lose, when you run third at 9 to 10 for a barn that we know how good Rohan is. And then I will mention number 8, Doobie. Say that one, Pete Aiello, real quick, about 5 or 6 times during this race. This is interesting. Bobby Hess is going to bring him back here. He's run here. He's run at Santa Anita. Bobby claimed it for 25. He's in now. He won at Golden Gate. Don't forget, our sister track, that's Tapeta out there at Golden Gate as well. He won. He's going to have to run faster today. I like the fact that Bobby brings him in. Doesn't want to run him for a tag either. It's a tricky race here. One of the reasons why I spread a little bit. Race number 9, we're going to go a 1-turn mile here. Another starter optional claimer. 20 is the tag. I go to number 6, Wind 99. This is Ronnie's best bet of the day. I've used this horse, to be honest with you. He's disappointed me a little bit in his last 2. He was my long shot, actually, 3 back and scored. And I kind of thought maybe he was ready to go on a little bit of a tear for Eddie Plesa Jr. He's run well in fast races for the level. C. Trident just absolutely freaked last time. I'm going to come back to him as well. I think he's a major player. Now, we scratch the 1, 5, and 7 in here. They weren't necessarily major players, but they're definitely going to ding value on anybody you might like in here. Cozy, my boy, is certainly a major player. He's run 4s on the thoroughgraphs, 2 and 3 back. If he gets back to those races, they stamp him as the horse to beat. And then I'll mention Black Belt as well for Peter Walder. He claimed him last time, 2 back. He ran him for 20 last time. He absolutely ran off the screen for Jason Hoyas. He's going to get a weight break from a few of these as well. He's going to have trouble getting to win 99 and Cozy, my boy's level. But if you're thinking a little bit outside the box on a horse that's clearly in good form, you could do worse than Black Belt for Peter Walder. Let's get to race number 10, and that's our feature on the card. This is the Opalaka. It's a good one, too. We've got Mary Quite Contrary, who has won 3 in a row. She's won 3 out of 4, excuse me. She won a stakes last time over Florida Breds in the sheer drama, and you've got to respect her. But I'm going to go with the 5, Quinoa Tifa here at a little bit of a price. An Arundel homebred for Juan Alvarado. Edgar Zayas is aboard here. The fast race last time, now it was on the Tapeta. It was behind Running Memories and Poseidon's Passion, and Poseidon's Passion put on a show yesterday, winning the Miami Gardens in track record time over the Tapeta. But she's run well on the main track, Quinona Tifa. 3 for 5 on the main track. The races weren't all that fast. I understand that. But I'm kind of wondering, off the layoff, back in with Juan Alvarado last time, she ran really, really good. She's going to be a better price, clearly, than Mary Quite Contrary, and I'm going to put her on top. You can't take anything away from Mary Quite Contrary. She's run so well for Joe Catanese, and She's clearly the horse to beat. You know, I mentioned this yesterday. We showed the replay in the lightning round. She's got a lot of will to win, and I've got to give her credit. But this is a solid group. This is open company today. And she threads the needle pretty closely because she never really looks like a winner. And to her credit, she's got a lot of will to win, and she does get it done in the lane. But I wonder if sooner rather than later, she's going to come up against a field where maybe that's not going to stop late. I'm going to put her in second. She's clearly the horse to beat, 7-5 on the line. She's every bit of it in here. I will mention number 7, Starship Nala, who always runs a race. She was just behind Mary Quite Contrary last time. And I'm going to use her in here as well because I think she's moving forward in her form. Does she regress? Does she come back a little bit? We'll see. I just think that race last time, when you're that close to the favorite and you run arguably a better race than the favorite, it's too good to ignore. So we'll wrap it up in race 11 around 5:40 in the p.m. with we're sprinting 5 on the Tapeta. These are 12-5 maiden claimers. It's my best bet of the day. And listen, I know they're going to flock to Hell's Kitten. For Safi, for the Ramseys, for Edgar Zayas, Kentucky Downs, Colonial, Gulfstream maiden special weight races. She's back sprinting too. I think that'll help. To me, Rare Jewel now. Her last 2 races are really, really strong efforts. And now we go off the claim for Gilberto Zerpa. That's 26%. We did well to draw outside Hell's Kitten too. And, you know, both of those races might win this. I think she's moving forward. He's moving forward for Gilberto Zerpa. You know, big numbers for Joe Orsino. Now we go off the claim. If we do move forward, I don't see anyone, favorite included, Hell's Kitten, running those races. So I'm going to put him on top. My best bet of the day. Obviously, they're going to bet Hell's Kitten, and I get it. But you've got to wonder now, can he run it all? I mean, he was 8-1 and 5-2 in those last 2 races on the turf, and he stopped badly. I will say this, he did show his usual speed. That's a positive. Maybe you don't have to worry. But 3 times in the maiden space special weight races, now, here, take me for 12-5. I don't know. Tread a little lightly here. You got to respect the outfit and the class drop. I just think it's a great time because it's going to help you get value on Rare Jewel too, because you know darn well they're going to bet Hell's Kitten in here. I do want to show a replay of a horse that I didn't use, but if you're thinking, if you're getting a little crazy, if you're thinking this could be my horse that sweeps this rainbow, blows up the sequences, here's Minister Quinn. He's the 3, okay? And he's going to have trouble. I thought he was advancing. The chart says 6 wide. I got this horse 10, 11 wide in my notes here. Wait till you see this horse float way, way out. He did flatten out in deep stretch. I understand that. But how much ground did he lose here? And we got Miguel Vasquez aboard here. Look at him. He is way, way out there. There's 5 horses to his inside. I mean, he's got to be 8 or 9 or 10 wide in here. He does flatten out late, but I think it's predictable because he lost so much ground in there. And now today, if you print it early, and I always print early, you know, we try to get the jump, and we're drawing 7 days out, which I love now too. So I print early. Miguel Vasquez not named on the early print. He's riding today. I think this horse at what's going to be a big number, 30 on the line. I had him 30-1 on my line too. He's going to be a big, big number. Again, if you're thinking outside the box, if you're saying to yourself, hey, Hell's Kitten might be way off form, Rare Jewel's had his chances, this is the horse that could blow it up. Don't sleep on him if you're spreading. So there we go, 11 down today. It's a good, solid card, $100,000 in that gross jackpot Rainbow Six. We're not done, though. We've got the lightning round. I mentioned Poseidon's Passion. Again, let's take a look at that replay yesterday from the Miami Gardens. This is a track record. We've run plenty of sprints on the Tapeta. She's now got the track record. She did it on the square. We weren't sure if she could beat Running Memories, who was 3-5 and was rightfully so. Not only did she beat her, boy, oh boy, she beat her on the square too. This was impressive. Good for her to doubling up now. Poseidon's Passion, credit to her, now a track record holder. We're always looking ahead in this game, and we're in 2 really, really good 2-year-old races yesterday. The first was race 4, and Safi's got a runner. Mr. Ripple running off the screen here. This was at a mile too, and Ron and I have talked about time and time again. It is not easy to win on debut, going a mile. How about this son of Dialed In? They paid $1.15 for him. Legacy Racing. I think they got a little bit of a bargain. Absolutely running off. I'm not, well within himself too. We always think championship meet. We always think 2-year-olds turning to 3-year-olds. Mr. Ripple, a son of Dialed In, is a horse you're going to see a lot at the championship meet. Safi's got an exciting one. The next one, The Man, no doubt about it. Jose D'Angelo's got an exciting one as well. This was race number 8. Now we're sprinting 6. And this is My Man Ira, a son of Java's War. They paid $1.75. Java's War stands for $3,000. Kudos to the connection here for figuring this one out. And looks like they've got a bargain as well. Point Liam, I mentioned the My Purple Haze Stables and Terry Pompey. That one ran huge as well. We'll be interested to see what Jose D'Angelo does. Jose's getting a lot better stock now, too. I think that's something to take note of as well. We know my best bet in long shot today. The best bet is in race number 11. That's Rare Jewel. The long shot, probably not going to be a huge price at 5-1. What's that? Starship Wizard. Do we have Ronnie's? He did the work today. I know he's not here today, but he did do the work. If we don't, there we go. Brasstown in race 7 at 5s. And then I think 199, right, at in race number, what is that? Race number 8, race number 9, late pick 5. There we go. Thank you, guys. Win 99 in race number 9 at 5-2. And that's a wrap. We got through it. Pete Aiello doesn't have a lot of work to do. He's going to tell you, too, about Jaime Torres. He's going to be he's not overweight today. He's picking up 3 pounds, and I'm glad I remembered it. I should have remembered it earlier. 2 races, 2 winners yesterday, so he's no longer a 10-pound apprentice. He's now a 7-pound apprentice. Pete will give you all that, but congratulations. And I talked about it yesterday. I've talked about it a lot. This is a young rider. This is a kid that can ride. Pay attention now. I think he's up to 5 wins here at the meet. He's doing good work. He's no longer a 10-pound apprentice. Let's send it up to Pete for the stretches here. See you soon for the opener.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.